Okay, Hare Krishna, everyone. Before starting the class, we would first like to invite Her Grace Preeti Bhashini Mataji. So she has been associated with the group for more than a decade, and we all have seen how melodious Mataji's Kirtan are. Every celebration is incomplete without Mataji and Mahakatha Prabhu's Kirtan. And she's a very humble, and she's like the pure example of humility as a senior devotee. So we would like to invite Mataji with loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnana. We will read together. ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखावितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपीशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं भङ्गुं लङ्कायते गिरिं यत्कृपातम् अहं वन्दे परं। Hare Krishna. So till last class we have completed till verse 3 of Shikshashtakam. So today we will be starting with verse 4. So we won't read the entire Shikshashtakam, but we will read the verse 4. So we can read together. Let's start. न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरिं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद् भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि. Translation: O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. So here in this verse, if we notice, it's written in the translation that I have no desire to accumulate wealth, no desire to be amongst beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. So these are basically, we are talking about someone saying, I do not want money, I do not want birth in a big family, and I also do not want to be with beautiful women. But if everybody would have heard of this common line in one of the artis where it says sukh sampatti ghar aave kashta mite tanka. So all of us would have heard this line, but in Shikshashtakam it is saying exactly opposite of that. It is saying I don't want any money, I don't want any material things. So this is the difference in the arti and in Shikshashtakam. Now, as per karma, like what we are doing in our daily activities, so we are doing some karma, right? So what is the goal of that karma? Like we are performing our duties, we are doing our work, we are taking care of the family. As per everyone, what is the goal of that duty? What is the goal of that? Anyone? Yes, it's basically for satisfaction and to achieve happiness through material gain. So that is what all these duties we are trying to do. But if we see, this verse is rejecting all of that karma. It is saying that no, this is not what we need. And as per philosophy of karma, one Prabhu has once mentioned that karma is actually romanticizing this world. It's romanticizing this material world. So in this material world, it's like if we have a problem, they say, okay, you do this, you will get the solution. And we try to follow that solution, then again we have another problem. And this cycle keeps repeating. So we think that we are going to be happy by achieving the solution, but that is not the case. So that's a cycle that keeps repeating when we are trying to get material gains, happiness through material gains. This is why this verse is completely rejecting this philosophy, this karma philosophy. And it is saying that we should actually not be worried at all about these things like material gains, like money, like fame, like fortune. None of this should be worrying us as devotees. All of you would have heard of this famous Christian saying, which says that more tears are shed over answered prayers than unanswered ones. I will repeat it. It is saying that more tears are shed over answered prayers than the unanswered ones. And one more thing that we have to notice is that when we are asking for all of these material gains, like generally when we go to the temple, we have a list ready. So we tell God, please give us this. This is the problem. Please help me with this. What is actually happening is it's actually leading to more attachment, and it is actually putting us in this, again pushing us into this cycle of like having lot of suffering, because we are again running behind gaining happiness. It's actually leading to misery. One of the classes Prabhu has also mentioned, what is the spelling of pleasure? It's actually pain, correct? So that we are falling into that trap when we are asking for such things from the Lord. Now, if we are not asking these things, so what is the verse saying? It is saying we should not ask for nadhanam, na janam, na sundarim. So, what should we actually ask for? In the third line, it is saying Mama Janmani Janmanishware. It means we have to ask for birth after birth. We have to ask for birth. Again and again, we want the birth. Now, there's another philosophy which is called as Jnana Yoga. As per that, it means that we want liberation. Why do we want liberation? Because as per Jnana Yoga, we understand that this material world is a place of misery. So what do? They demonize this material world. As per that philosophy, they're demonizing this world, saying that it is a very bad place to live. It is a place full of suffering, and we do not want to be here. There are a lot of miseries. So they say that that is why we want liberation, because they feel that this world is a bad place to live. That is the reason, that is the inspiration for them to get the liberation. But here in this verse, even that is being rejected by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, no, that also should not be the prayer that get me liberated from this cycle of birth and death. That also should not be our prayer. Why? Because here Mahaprabhu is telling that I want birth after birth after birth. Now, what will you do after getting birth again and again? So here it is said that the last line, we can see Bhavatat Bhaktir Ahai Tuki Tvai. So after taking birth again and again, what do we want? We want bhakti. And what kind of bhakti? It has to be ahaituki. So ahaituki has been discussed in previous classes as well. Does anyone remember the meaning of this word? Anyone? Ahaituki. Yes. Yes. Like Mataji said, ahaituki means unmotivated and uninterrupted, unmotivated and uninterrupted bhakti. So what should we ask for? If we should not ask for material gains, if we should not ask for liberation, we should be asking for ahaituki bhakti, which means unmotivated and uninterrupted bhakti. What does this mean? And ahaituki is coming from the word hetu, which means without expecting any result. So we should be performing bhakti without expecting any results in return of that bhakti. So it is not like I'm doing my chanting, I'm doing my sadhana, but I want something in return. Sometimes in our subconscious mind, we feel that I'm doing all these good things, so good things should happen in my life. But that is not the bhakti that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is mentioning here. So the final message of this verse is, I don't want anything that karma can give. Like we discussed the karma philosophy. So I don't want anything that karma can give. I don't want anything that jnana can give. I only want bhakti, that too without expecting anything or any results in return. Now, there can be a question based out of this verse. So, when people see, basically, this is talking about detachment. Like when they are saying that without expecting anything in return, it means detachment. So, if they see someone who is practicing bhakti and they see that the person is detached, like for example, something is going on in their life, but they are not very reactive to it, nor they are taking any action to it. So, a question comes in the mind, are they detached or are they irresponsible? So, would anyone like to answer this? Like, what do you feel? Is it how it should be, detachment or irresponsibility? What is the difference between the two? Did you understand the question? So, yes, yes. So, how will you able to draw a line between the two? Because if somebody is following bhakti, they will tell, no, I am detached. I do not want to be involved. But it may also seem irresponsible. So, how do we draw a line between the two? Correct. Perfect, Mataji. So detachment, like Priyanka Mataji said, it means we have to do our duty to our best capability. We should do what is in our hands, but we should not be expecting results. Now, if you take this in the wrong format, that becomes irresponsibility. Irresponsibility is when you think that anyways, whatever I do, the result is not in my hands. So let it be. So that should not be the case. This has to be very clear that there should be detachment, and we have to do it without any expecting any results in return, and it should not be irresponsibility. Now, so this is very clear that in this verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is rejecting all the basic things that we generally tend to ask for: beauty, fame. One second, I will just. Yeah. Yeah. Now, so we have to be not asking these things when we go to the deities. We have to ask for something else. But there's, I will come to that later, but there's another meaning that we can take from it. What do we have to do when we go in front of the deities if we do not have to ask for this? We have to be very smart while asking for benedictions. So, what does it mean by being smart while asking for benediction? So, I will start with a story. So, there's the story of a very old lady. So, she every day goes to the forest and she picks up certain logs and she brings the bulk of logs and she sells them for a living. So, one day the lady is coming back from the forest and she's a very old lady. So, she's coming back from the forest and she has a huge pile of logs, and certain 2 to 3 logs fall down, and she's feeling very helpless, and in that agony she calls out to the Lord that, oh Lord, please come and help me, what is this, I'm in pain. And lo and behold, God actually comes. So Lord Sri Krishna actually comes in front of her and he asks her, oh Maya, what do you want, how can I help you? So imagine, so she's there with her small problem of just 2 or 3 logs fallen down, and Lord Krishna is there in front of her, the Supreme Lord. She can ask anything, and he is willing to give it to her. But what does she ask? She tells, please take 2 to 3 logs, put it back on my head. She could have, in fact, told, I do not want to do this work. I am tired. Please do something for my living. But she asked such a petty thing. So, asking for things like money, for fame, for good fortune from the Lord is equivalent to this. It is that petty when we ask the Lord for such. Yeah. So starting from the second point again. So during Janmashtami, we go for donation collection. So imagine certain devotees, they go to a house of a very rich man and they see he is very, like he's like a billionaire. He has like a big bungalow and everything, and they just scan the area. And the man is also convinced that, okay, you're doing such nice things that I'm willing to give you anything. And the devotee thinks and asks, okay, give me 100 or 10 rupees. So that is actually something foolish, because the person is capable and willing to give so much more, but you're asking something so little when you can get so much more. So that is the example that we should not be asking for petty things. In fact, sometimes there's prayer like, Lord, give us our daily bread. So if if you see in households, does any child ask their father that, please provide food to me tomorrow? There's that doesn't happen anywhere. In fact, you're giving 10 varieties, they will tell, no, I don't want. That opposite happens. So this is why we should not be asking. This is an example that's telling that we should not ask for such small things. So what should we ask for? If we should not ask for these things, what should we ask for from the Lord? Like it is said, Bhavatat Bhaktir Ahituki. We should be asking for unmotivated and uninterrupted bhakti. Because in our life, as per our destiny, which is the karma that we have already performed, as per that, we are going to get what we deserve any which ways. As per the destiny, we are going to get. So, what is the point in asking all that? Instead, we should be very careful in asking the Lord what we want. And we should ask something priceless. What is priceless is bhakti. And if you know, Krishna is willing to give you everything, but he's not so easily willing to give bhakti. Why? Because once Krishna gives bhakti to you, then he has to come behind the devotee like a servant. So he's also very careful while giving bhakti. So we also have to, so we have to ask and beg with mercy. We have to plead to the Lord that give me this priceless thing, which is bhakti. Instead of asking for all these material things, we have to beg from him that give me the most priceless thing, which is bhakti, which is unmotivated and uninterrupted. We all have heard of the story of Dhruva Maharaj. So when he felt insulted, he was directed by his mother to go and pray to the Lord. So under the guidance of Narad Muni, for so many months, he did penance, he did tapasya. And his intention in the start, his motivation was that I want a loka even bigger than Brahma Loka. That was his motivation. He felt insulted, so that was his actual motivation behind the tapasya. So he goes and does that, but as he's doing his tapasya, and during that process, his heart was cleansing. And once the Lord appeared, he realized that he was asking for something so small. So when the Lord told Dhruv Maharaj that you wanted a loka even bigger than Brahmaloka, I am ready to grant that to you. So that time he immediately says, "Oh Lord, I did not have the intelligence then. I was asking for just shattered pieces of glass, but you're giving me diamond, which is bhakti." So he says, "I do not care about the loka now. Instead, please always keep me under your lotus feet." So even Dhruv Maharaj understood this after his tapasya, and even he asked for Ahituki Bhakti. So in verse 4, if we will just quickly summarize, it says three important parts: Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. We should not ask for. A devotee does not want fame, no fortune, no beauty, or any association or hankering for beautiful ladies or beautiful men. Then he's telling Mama Janmani Janmanishware. I want birth after birth after birth. And why do I want birth after birth after birth? It is because I want to do Ahaituki Bhakti. I want to do uninterrupted and unmotivated bhakti. So this is the verse 4. Now going ahead, we will be going to verse 5. Let us all read verse 5 together. ऐनन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितां मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजा स्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तया. So I'll just read the translation. O son of Maharaja Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other, I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. So, in this verse, what we're going to understand is what is the spiritual identity of a person. Here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is stressing on that. So, in the first line, when we see, it says, Ai Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram. Firstly, Ai Nanda Tanuja means like it's a very dear way of calling out to the Lord. He's addressing the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is addressing the Lord, O son of Maharaja Nanda Krishna. And he's using the word Ai. It's like forming a close bond, like a friend, like that. And then he's telling Kinkaram. So Kinkaram is actually our position. He's defining what is our position. So Kinkaram means I am the servant. That is the meaning of Kinkaram. So we all know, we have understood in these Bhagavad Gita classes through various chapters that we are not this body and we are the soul. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining that the soul is the servant of Krishna. This is what is being explained in the first line. And also whenever Srila Prabhupada talks about bhakti, he always says it as devotional service. So whenever Prabhupada is talking about bhakti, he is telling about devotional service. Why he is using service? Because that is the original position of the soul. It always wants to serve and not serve anyone, but serve the Lord. So that is why bhakti always, Srila Prabhupada tells us, devotional service. And to do devotional service, there has to be one more qualification for a devotee. That is, the devotees want to be in the background. They do not want to show off that I did this, I did that, or I did this. It should not be like that. A devotee should not be following that, because again, if we go to the previous verse, a devotee in the as per Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's verses should not be hankering for such fame or recognition. So it should be something like doing something in the background, or even if you're doing any bhakti, you should not be expecting any form of recognition or fame. So one very important thing to understand is that in this material world, why are we all having so much suffering? Is because of this simple understanding. We are not able to understand what is our constitutional position. We are thinking that we are like boss anu boss anu boss. So everybody is chasing that, but it's actually das anu das anu das. So that is what we are kinkaram. We are forgetting that we are kinkaram. So that is being reminded to us over here by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that we are actually the eternal servant. The soul is the eternal servant of the Lord. He's giving us our identity over here. And if any one of us are in any other position than, like, if we are thinking that we are something else, if I ask you who you are, and if you think that I am this, I am this, it is actually suffering. If we are in any other position other than the servant of the Lord, it's like a fish out of water. It is going to be in misery and it is going to be suffering. And in fact, if everyone has noticed, that is why at the time of initiation, everybody is given different name by the guru. They are given different name, but at the end of everybody's name, there is Dasi and Das, which is, it is to help you regain that this is your original identity, that you are the eternal servant of the Lord. That's why at the end, such name is given. And a very short instance of Lord Hanuman, when he went to Lanka to understand the whereabouts of Mother Sita, then he was caught and he was brought to the assembly of Ravana. And that time Ravana asks him, tell me who you are, give me your introduction. So he just told two words. So Hanuman introduced himself saying just two words. That was enough. That one line was enough for his introduction. He said, Kaushalendriyasya dasoham. He said, I am the servant of Kaushala Indra. That is the ruler of Kaushala Desha, which is Sri Ramachandra. So he didn't even say his name. He just introduced himself using these two lines. So it is said, similar way, the identity of a disciple is their guru, and the identity of a devotee is the Supreme Lord. So instead of thinking me, I, we should actually identify ourselves as the servant of the Lord. We should not identify ourselves as what we are. So what has happened to this servant? In the next line, if we go, Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddham. Now what we understood, that we are the servant, but now what has happened to this servant? Servant has Patitam. It means it has fallen. When the rain falls, the drop is actually very pure. From the cloud, when the rain drop falls, it is very pure. But as soon as it touches the ground, it becomes contaminated, it becomes dirty water, it becomes muddy water. Similarly, the soul, when in association with the Lord, it was pure. But when it came in association to this material world, once we took birth, it becomes under the control of various material, all the three types of, like, passion, goodness, and ignorance. All these type modes of material nature, it comes in association and it gets contaminated and it becomes fallen. So that is what Mahaprabhu is telling here, that what happened to this servant? It became patitam. It has fallen. And that is why the next line, Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja. Next line is, we have to petition for mercy of the Lord. We have to ask the mercy for the Lord, and we have to ask for, what should we ask for when we are asking for mercy? We have to ask for Stita Duli Sadrisham Vichintaya. We have to ask to the Lord that please place me like a dust particle at your lotus feet. I am a fallen servant, and please place me at your lotus feet. So we have now talked about karma, we have talked about jnana, and we have talked about bhakti philosophy. So basically, and in karma and jnana philosophy is that I can do everything myself. These two philosophy are focusing on what I can do. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. But when it comes to bhakti, bhakti means I will need Krishna's help to do this because I'm the servant of the Lord. There's no I over there. You're identifying yourself as the servant only. So bhakti means I will need Krishna's help. So that is why bhakti is better than karma or jnana yoga. Now, there's a very small analogy which is there. If somebody has fallen into a well, how can we pull him out? We will need a rope to pull him, and someone has to be on the top to pull him out. But okay, if somebody is there to pull him, the person in the well also has to hold on to that rope. Only then it will be possible to save the person. So there's a very small story. So there's a colonel, army colonel, who was walking and he did not see a pit. It was covered with leaves and he fell down. After he fell, all the junior soldiers they came, they tried to save him. So they put the rope down, and the colonel he held on to the the colonel he held on to the rope, and they are pulling him up. Now, as soon as he came up, the soldiers, the junior soldiers, they used to saluting the senior as soon as they see. So they left the rope, and everybody saluting him. So the colonel fell down. So then what happened? Again, they were like, okay, this is not going to work out. Let's call a senior. So they called a senior. They called the soldier, the colonel's senior. He came, he said, okay, I will pull. They are pulling. Now the colonel down is like, I saw my senior and he leaves the lope and he falls down. So again, this did not work. So now what they did is now they told, okay, let's call his friend. So if friend is there, they will not have to salute each other. So when the friend came, the friend pulled and he also held on and nobody had to salute each other and he was able to come out. So similarly, it is said when it comes to bhakti, we have to ask. We have to ask the Lord. We have to please the Lord that I am your servant. Please take me onto your lotus feet. So even we have to hold on and we have to surrender to the Lord that please take me onto your lotus feet. We are fallen soul and please pick us up and place us onto your lotus feet like a small particle of dust. In last class also we had seen that the depiction of baby Krishna. He's wondering what is it what is it in my lotus feet that all the devotees are hankering to be there, and that is why he was sucking his toe. So that is the place that we have to be asking for. We should not be asking for all the material things. And once we understand what is our position, what is the position of the soul, we have to then plead for mercy to the Lord. Here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling we have to plead for mercy and ask for place in his lotus feet. And if we see in Shloka, Bhagavad Gita Shloka 9.29, Samoham, we can open 9.29. So in this it is says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu na me devasosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mai te teshu chapi aham. So the translation says, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. So if you see, there are two parts to this. So the first part is saying that I am not partial and I am equal to all. But the second part is saying that who is a devotee to me, I am I am a friend to him. So isn't this contradictory? If we see, isn't this contradictory? Lord Krishna is saying that I am a friend to my devotee, but at the first he's saying I am equal to all. So would anyone like to explain this? Like, what is this contradiction? That so is Krishna partial or impartial? Yes. Anyone else? Yes. So both Mataji and Prabhuji are right. So here, so the first line which says that I am impartial, it means that anybody, regardless of who they are, can approach the Lord. And the second line means that if someone approaches the Lord, he becomes their friend and he also serves them. So it is like that. So it does, so somebody is approaching the Lord, but that does not mean that it is going to stop anybody else from approaching him. So if a devotee is approaching the Lord and Lord is giving him mercy, it does not mean that others cannot approach him. He is open to everybody. He is open to everybody. So this is what this is explaining, that he is like these two lines, which is the contradictory thing. This is the explanation that anyone can approach him to the extent that Lord is impartial, and whoever approaches him, he becomes partial to them, because that does not stop anyone from approaching him. It is like rain falls everywhere, but the grass grows only in some places. Why? Because the seed is there only in some places. Only that places the grass will grow. So this is the explanation of verse 5. I will quickly summarize verse 5. So as per the verse 5, it is saying what our eternal position is. We are kinkaram. We are the servant of the Lord. And patitam, it means we have fallen down. Our soul has fallen down. And that is why we have to kripaya tava pada pankaja. We have to plead for mercy from the Lord, that Lord, we have fallen down, so please lift us up. We surrender unto you, lift us up and place us onto your lotus feet. And that means Stitaduli Sadrisham Vichintaya. So this was verse 4 and verse 5. I have tried under the guidance of senior devotees to explain whatever little bit I know, like copy paste Prabhu says. If there were any mistakes, please, I request for apology. And Preeti Bhashini Mataji would like to say about Shikshashtakam.
Actually, I would to summarize the 5 verses. I think you've done first 3 verses last week, and which has finished the 4th and 5th verse. So Prabhuji told me just summarize the 5 verses. So the first verse, Cheto Darpana Marjana, is regarding the cleansing of the heart. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these Shikshashtakam verses are so important because these are the only 8 verses he has ever written by himself. Rest all of the philosophy is written by his disciples. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that cleansing, the chanting of holy names of Lord Krishna, it cleanses the heart of all the dust. So what is the dust which is there in the heart? The anarthas, right? Yeah. What are the anarthas?
Dust.
Yeah. So basically anger, greed, envy, pride. Yeah, all these things. So the 7 called that 7 sinful this one, right? So basically, just as you see a dirty mirror in your cleanse it with the help of the holy name, we can start connecting with the Lord, right? So also Mahaprabhu compares this material world to a blazing fire, and he says this blazing fire is because our lives are full of anxiety, and we are suffering with a lot of problems, like and so this holy name is like a shower. It's like a cool shower on a hot day when you take a cool shower. How you feel? Like it also compares it to the benediction of the moon. Like the moonlight is so cooling, right? If it's hot, you could apply Bernal as ice. You feel good, right? So it's like that. So when you're having so much of miseries in your life, when you chant the names of the Lord, immediately you feel the effect of the Lord's grace in your life, right? So and when somebody is very sad and anxious, right? If they take the name of the Lord, suddenly